Hi, I'm Jeff from New York. Please like and subscribe.
Episode 58, You're the Only One I Like. Jake was taken aback for a second, then sneered.
You callous bitch, you're so damn shallow. You used to beg to be with me when I had money, but now I'm in trouble you want to leave me.
Jonah snorted, but didn't say anything. That was exactly what she was going to do when they had first left the police station yesterday. She had planned to stay with Jake for a while just because she felt sorry for him. But then when Jake ran out of money, she had enough.
I've already told you, we're over.
Jonah stood up and tried to leave, but Jake grabbed her hand, hurting her.
I should have known from the beginning what you're really like. You're not nearly as special as you think you are. I'm sick of you.
Jake looked Jonah up and down and continued.
You can leave if you want, as long as you give me back all the money that I spent on you.
Jake, are you even a man? You want to ask a girl like me for money? Don't you have any shame?
When Jonah heard him ask her for money, she was horrified.
I was your girlfriend for so many months. You should be paying me money for all the time I've spent with you, not asking me for money. Have you got no pride?
I spent hundreds of thousands on you. Do you really think you were worth it?
Jake's not thinking straight.
First I have to find $350,000 to pay back, and now Jonah says she's leaving me. Okay, since you're begging, I'll let you off some of the money. You did give me some good times in bed. If you pay me $350,000, we'll be even.
Psycho.
Jonah said as she sneered at Jake in disbelief.
You're not getting a cent from me. It's you who has to pay back the money. You're the one the police are after.
You bloody whore, trying to get one over on me.
Jake said as he looked at Jonah. Her face had 5 finger marks on it, and her hair was messy. He continued.
You know, I know some dangerous people. If you don't get my money from me within a week, you had better watch your back.
Jake wouldn't stop talking.
If you can't pay me back, you're in big trouble. Even if I have to go to jail, I'll get even for this.
He whispered into Jonah's ear. His sinister sneer made her shiver.
Now piss off.
Jake gave Jonah a hard shove. Jonah knew a little about Jake's past. She knew that with his connections and determination, he would get his revenge if she didn't give him the money he wanted. But where was she going to find $350,000? Jonah walked past Jeff in a daze. Her mind was filled with thoughts about the $350,000, and she didn't even notice him there. Jeff sighed. He felt a little sorry for Jonah. When she had first fallen in love with Jake, he had worried that it would end badly, but he had never imagined it would be as bad as this.
It's all Jonah's fault. She's always been so greedy.
He shook his head and continued eating. Jonah walked out of the cafeteria looking dejected. All her usual energy had gone. The huge amount of $350,000 pressed down on her so heavily that she could barely breathe. Jonah sat down on the curb outside. She didn't care if her pants were dirty and other students were laughing at her. She hugged her knees and let the tears flow from her eyes. Hating herself, she thought.
Why did I have to aggravate Jake when I knew how angry he already was? And now what have I achieved? Not only I'm not going to marry a rich man, but I have to find this huge sum of money to give him.
Her mind turned naturally to Jeff.
When I was with Jeff, he always put me first without any ulterior motives. Even though I humiliated Jeff when I left him, he never tried to get his own back on me as Jake did.
Thinking about the two men, she realized how much better Jeff was than Jake.
If Jeff is rich after all, maybe I should try to win him back. Maybe he could still care about me.
Jonah couldn't help but wonder.
It's been proven that it was Jake who stole the $350,000, which means that the money that Jeff donated was his, which proves that Jeff is rich after all. In yesterday at Abraham's banquet, Jeff won the diamond necklace. He is rich.
If Jeff was willing to help Jonah, then all her problems would be solved. Thinking of this, Jonah became excited. She felt a ray of hope. The key question now was, would Jeff help her?
When we were together, he gave me everything I wanted. Although I left him, he used to love me. Lelaine, that peasant, has been with Jeff for quite a while now. But he probably only got together with her because he was lonely and couldn't have me. I outclass her in looks, clothes, and education. If I beckon him, I'm sure Jeff will come running back to me like a dog.
Jonah felt much better. She thought of this. She stood up from the curb and looked around to see a few boys watching her. Hey, gorgeous, don't be sad. Jake is a bastard.
Let's go. We'll buy you a drink.
The boys had seen her arguing with Jake in the cafeteria and tried to cheer her up.
Don't think I don't know that. You're only after one thing.
Jonah snared at them. The sadness from earlier was long gone.
Why don't you piss off?
She snorted coldly and walked toward her dorm. She needed peace to think of a plan to win Jeff back. When he had finished eating, Jeff went back to his dorm to catch up with Roybin and the others. They were thrilled to see him and asked him about everything that had happened. Jeff didn't tell them everything about Emerald Island, only that he had been keeping a low profile and decided to come back when he heard that the real thief had been arrested. He was worried that their friendships would change if he told them who he was. How would he know whether their feelings were genuine or if they were just after his money? Jeff knew he would hate that, so he decided to keep his wealth a secret for now. Only after they'd had lunch together did his friend stop asking Jeff questions and let him go. Jeff noticed that Jonah didn't attend their afternoon class. He was really afraid that Jake might have done something to her. In the evening, Jeff wanted to have dinner with Lelaine, but she had to stay in the classroom to take supplementary lessons, so Jeff left her to it. Just as he was thinking of going out for a meal, Jonah called him. Jeff hesitated for a moment, but finally answered her call.
Jeff?
Jonah pretended to be relieved that he'd answered her call, but deep down she was sure that he still had feelings for her.
When you saw that it was me calling, you answered the phone so quickly.
She thought.
What's wrong?
Jeff asked in a friendly tone. He was afraid that she would do something stupid. Jonah cried softly.
I'm fine. I just really want to meet with you. Is that okay?
She said in a low and dejected tone. She was trying to get his sympathy. Jeff hesitated.
Can't I just want to see you? You used to be happy to see me at any time of the day or night. Have your feelings for me changed so much?
Jonah asked with a sob.
All right. If you don't want to see me, then I have nothing else to say. I guess that the year we spent together meant nothing.
She was disappointed, but she didn't end the call.
All right, I'll meet with you.
Jeff said lightly.
Great. Meet me right now at the Angel Bar outside the school.
She quickly ended the call. Before Jeff could change his mind, Jonah was already in the Angel Bar. She took out her small mirror and admired herself in it. A proud smile appeared on her face. She thought.
Jeff, I didn't think you still care so much for me after so long. The moment I called you, you agreed to meet me. You have no pride left at all. However, I don't blame you. You're not blind after all. How could you not want to be with me again?
It didn't cross her mind that if Jeff was there, he probably would have told her that he only agreed to meet her to get her to stop calling him. As one of the few bars outside of Peston University, the Angel Bar was popular with university students. It was always buzzing. Jeff walked into the bar and saw Jonah waving at him from the dimly lit corner seat.
Here.
She cried out. Jeff sat down opposite Jonah, who called the waiter over and said,
I want a glass of champagne. Give him a single mount on the rocks.
These two drinks came to almost $50, but Jonah thought,
why not, since Jeff will be paying?
The drinks were served quickly. Jonah and Jeff were sitting opposite each other at a small table. Jonah took a sip of her wine and quickly said to Jeff,
I broke up with Jake. Yesterday I found out that he was a thief, and I felt terrible for blaming you for the crime. He's a total thug. I can't be with a criminal. So yesterday, when the police confirmed that it was Jake that stole the money, I broke up with him straight away.
Didn't you break up this morning?
Jeff asked with an amused smile. As he looked at her, Jonah became emotional.
Jeff, I couldn't stop thinking about everything last night when I was lying in bed. My mind was all over the place. I realized that I hate Jake. I asked myself what kind of person I want to be with, and I gradually understood the qualities that are important to me. I want someone with integrity, kindness, someone who loves me. I realized that it has nothing to do with whether he has money or not. I began to wonder if I've already met the man who's perfect for me, and I realized that I have. Do you know who my perfect partner is?
Who?
Jeff replied hesitantly. There was a trace of tenderness in Jonah's eyes. She gradually slid her hand toward Jeff.
That person is you.
She whispered.